Tonight I'm going to talk on the subject of emptiness. Emptiness as it pertains to IST training and what we're doing here in the overall picture as we continue on this path and journey, and what that can represent in the practice of developing emptiness. Okay? So, the three words that they talk quite a bit that I've heard a lot from different teachers are song, tong, hong. Song, tong, hong. Of course, song meaning relax, but importantly, actively releasing more and more. And the qualities of stone cannot be overstated. It's really a very important principle to develop, long term as well. So song. And when you have more song, you'll know it. It'll change how you feel and what the qualities represent in your overall practice. And then when you have tong, stone tong, tong means like a passage, something that can go through. Quite often they use the analogy of like a plumbing. If water is going through, there's no clog, there's no stoppage, nothing is getting stuck, tension is not getting stuck, then everything just moves very well. And when you have tone, think about the feeling of when you're doing solo practice. You have your gravity, that's energy. And when you're moving in the form, you're moving in the Song Gong drills, that tone means that energy is flowing when you become more tone. Tone is another, in that order, the quality that you'll develop more and more. And it plays out in everything that we do. More song, more tone, then you get into home, which is emptiness. Emptiness is a very high level in IST development. In the beginning, it's very elusive. Even in the first few years, you may have glimpses of it. And as you begin to practice longer and you become very diligent in your practice in terms of your training, having your own program, years go by, you will feel a sense of emptiness. Now, emptiness here has a certain definition that represents the characteristics of what you have when you feel the emptiness. And here are some of those characteristics. When you have this emptiness quality in your IST practice, the tension that you feel throughout your body it gets less and less and less. The reflexes become in control, whereas somebody touch you, your reflex will not come back. So quite often when we do the 2-person drills, as soon as I touch somebody on the shoulders, in the arms, they think that they're not coming back at me. They think that they're relaxed. But energy has already came into my hands already. I feel it. That's because as you become more Song Tong Hong, once when you touch somebody, you already know that even though they think they're relaxed, their energy has already came back into your hands already. And as a result, you can feel the tension starting to brew. And that's something that we don't want in the practice. When your tone, energy keeps going down, it keeps flowing. So I touch you, I don't touch you, you're doing solo training, 2-person training. When you have tone, everything is constantly moving. That's why we talk about no separation. Everything keeps on connecting with Earth's energy. And it starts becoming that type of movement internally where it keeps flowing. So with the quality of emptiness, the tension that you have in your body becomes less and less and less. Over the years, as you practice, the different levels of how you refine it becomes deeper and deeper and deeper. Not only will you have the tension will be less, the resistance of how you do your practice will also become refined and become much more to what it needs to be. If I touch you, you're not going to come back at me. The energy is not going to come back at the point of contact. So that's another quality that you feel when you have this emptiness. Now, between the tension and the resistance, that's just the body. How about your mind? Same thing. The mind will also become empty. That's the common saying, 冇疑係真意. No mind is the real mind. And what that represents is that mind doesn't get rattled. That mind doesn't get flustered. If something, when you're practicing the set, when you're doing meditation walking, it's just a clear and free mind. It doesn't get cluttered with thoughts. It doesn't get cluttered with thinking about what you're going to do during the day or what you've done already. It's really the free mind. And the free mind is what I've talked before is 静下来. The free mind is what takes you to your central equilibrium that helps you to connect to the ground. And this emptiness is very comfortable. When you have certain levels of emptiness already, you're already doing all the acronyms. You're doing the 5 R's, you're doing SOS, you're doing, proper energy alignment, you're doing safe, you're doing saber. It's all in emptiness already. And the more you get to the state of emptiness in your practice, the body and mind will know what to do. There's no such formula of, if I touch your right arm, I got to do this. If I touch your right arm, I got to move my left. No, the body knows what to do already. It's in a state of emptiness. It doesn't get disturbed by your energy coming into me. It knows what to do already. Because the body is empty, the mind is empty. Now it changes how your practice will become. So whether you're doing solo training or doing 2-person drill training, the emptiness will eventually down the road play itself out. Okay? Now, the $1 million question, when will I get it? Everybody is different. It comes down to your background training, how often you train during the week, how persistent you are in your training, and how mad you can become in your training, so to speak. And when that happens, the emptiness, you'll feel it. And over time, once you taste it, like I said before, once you taste any of these acronyms and the internal system expression, if you taste it just one time, it'll come again. Absolutely. It didn't happen. It just didn't come because it just came, right? It came because you're training in that direction. And then you'll start to feel, feelings of what that IST represents. And over time, each week and month, you'll feel it more and more over the course of the long term. And then before you know it, when you practice, you're going to expect those types of feelings that are internal, from song to tone and to emptiness. Okay? And tomorrow in class, we're going to talk about that a little bit more in person. Of course, there'll be a number of videos. And of course, thank you to Mary and Bob for posting, because it gives you another chance to reinforce what we've been doing and to watch it again, to learn as a training tool and resource.